Hello and welcome back to Skyrim. We are headed up towards Mount Kilkreath and the statue of Meridia for the quest of Meridia's beacon. Now this is one of the quests that, as I mentioned, brings a lot of gold, but here is a special friend. Hello, Maik.
Maik wishes you well.
Now, question is, do you really do that?
Does not remember his childhood. Perhaps he never had one. Nords are so serious about beards. So many beards.
Beards are nice.
Maik thinks they wish they had glorious manes like Qa'Rajh.
Not really, but... Oh, what? Where are you going? Get back! Get back! Here! Get... Why are you running? Hello? 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 What? Oh, never mind. So, first order of business is heading into Dragon Bridge. A village which main feature is, as the name suggests, a bridge that looks like a dragon. Interesting, you might think. Not really. Dragon Bridge, much like Rorikstead, has little to offer except the inn. Oh, former arrow. Now, a thing that always bothers me about the former is that they are blind. Now, I know you can do some stuff with a keen hearing, but... Oh, this is pretty short too. I begged my husband not to go, but he just wouldn't listen. He said if he delayed the shipment even another week, the Legion would find someone else to take it south. Let them keep their blasted money. The road to Whiterun is dangerous these days. Everyone knows it. So many caravans have been attacked. So many travelers vanished into thin air. Some say it's only bandits, but there are rumors of worse. Goblins, ghosts, witches. 20 years we've been married now, and I can't bear the thought of losing him. I'm not letting him go alone, not this time. We live or we die together. Mara preserve us. Spoiler alert, she didn't. Well, you should have ordered for someone to follow you. Tomato. Ooh, that's actually worth quite a decent amount. Huh? Get. But yeah, returning to the issue with the former, it actually kind of bothers me because, as I said, you can do a lot with a keen hearing, but the level of archery that the former shows and the usage of magic that some of the higher level former are able to use seems unlikely with their blindness. Hello, Dragon Face and Dragon Bridge. Nothing special here, really.
Fine armor you've got there.
Yup. So I'm not stopping. We are heading up to Mount Kilkreath. Stormcloak invasion camp. This is the camp that is closest to the capital, which they try to overtake. Not that they are successful. At least not this one, because, well, I don't care for them. Hello?
I'm on my way to Solitude to join the Legion.
Well, you're not far away. Have a good trip. But he doesn't actually join up. Ram. These are the stairs going up to Mount Kilkreath. But before we do that, there's a word wall behind it, and we'll take that first. So Meridia.
Look at my temple lying in ruins.
Yes.
So much for the constancy of mortals, their crafts and their hearts.
I mean, you can't build a temple with your heart.
They love me not. How can my love reach them?
You should try it. What's it called? Tinder. I'm sure you'd get some air, wind, earth. Alright, so for Mount Kilkreath. Yes. Boink. And Team Rocket's blasting off again. Oh.
It is time for my
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
truth lies buried in the ruins.
Think about it every night and day.
Now tainted
Spread
by
my wings and fly away. I believe I can fly.
the necromancer Malkared defiles my shrine. Trapping lost souls left in the wake of this war to do his bidding.
That wasn't nice of him.
Worse still, he uses the power stored within my own token to fuel his foul deeds.
Ah,
I have brought you here, mortal, to be my champion. You will
Champion.
enter my temple, retrieve
Temple.
my artifact, and destroy
Artifact.
the
Defiler.
defiler.
All right.
Mortals call it Dawnbreaker. For it
That
was
sounds like an
forged
awesome
in
name for a heavy rock album,
breaks
Dawnbreaker.
upon my
Or
foes.
maybe a hard rock band. Yes.
You will enter my shrine.
I'll do it.
This, of course you will. I have
All right. No need to be prissy, miss.
Go now. The artifact
Uh,
has forced
can I have a ladder?
shut. But this is my temple, and it responds to my decree.
Well, that's good for you.
I will
Um,
send down a ray of light. Guide this light to my
Is that light getting bigger or is the ground... Oh no! I hope that it doesn't glitch. Alright, we're fine. People have often times had this one glitching out where they either would fall and hurt themselves or never fall at all. Both are unfortunate, but things that happen. So let's go in and get a lot of money. Actually, let's just see what we have before we start earning our pay, so that we can see exactly how much we get when we get out. I may have been wrong about the 3,000 to 5,000 gold, but this is a good tea. Alright, we have 8,218 gold. We shall quickly change that. Already? Yes. They should really get some ventilation going in here. All these undead people farting. It actually takes a while before you see any enemies in this one, so... La da 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 da. A little extra gold. Now there are some speculation to whether the battle that went down was in here between Imperials and Stormcloaks, or if they have been brought here afterwards that they have fought, which means that someone have dragged them, dragged all the corpses, either physically or through magic, into this place. both theories are quite interesting, because considering how close this place is to Solitude, you wouldn't think that this large amount of Stormcloaks would be able to get in. However, the Stormcloak invasion camp is actually pretty close by, as we saw on the map, which implicates that it actually is possible. Little treasure room. Nope. Little extra gold. How are we for gold now? 8,421. Alright. It's going nice and easy. So this technically these are ghosts, but well, less so technically, they are corrupted shades, and they are unique to this, which suggests that Malkoran, the necromancer at the end of this long quest, is actually pretty powerful indeed, as he can create something more powerful than regular ghost. We've met regular ghosts before, and they asked if does someone live among the dead, to which point they all died. So, or this also furthers the theory that magic was used in order to haul the corpses in here, which suggests that the fighting maybe was done elsewhere, perhaps close by at the Stormcloak camp, perhaps somewhere else. What we can take from this is that Malkoran is probably a very powerful necromancer indeed. And whether this is because he is using Dawnbreaker or not is not for us to tell. There is no way for us to decipher there's no doubt that he's powerful even without it, but it definitely multiplies his power, but to some degree. Which is interesting because you cannot do the same yourself. Even if you are very skilled in magic, that's not possible. So here we have corrupted shades. Not really that dangerous, but still more powerful than regular ghosts. That doesn't say much though. Come hither and let me shoot an arrow in thine face, you ghostly asshole. Behind you! Are you gonna... What? What? No. Not sure what happened there actually. Anyway. It is dealt with. Over with and done. Let me get more tea. So, while the other two, the previous episodes have been travel episodes, this will be a dungeon episode for Mount Kilkreath. Spoonful of medicine mix. Of Dickrick makes the medicine go down. Medicine go down. Medicine go down. A spoon. I believe in miracles. Where are you from? You sexy thing. Plates. Alright. Nothing of value. An urn with a little value, 8,554. Decent. And it's empty. Damn it. Again. Can we... Alright. Okay. A little parkour. Ha! Ha! Bah. Yup. But sadly to no avail, because there is nothing here. Or is there? What? Oh. How can I... What? Get... Can I even get... Can I... Can... Is that a... Oh. No. Wait, what? Should we... Nah. Maybe, like... Alright, we can try that. We can try that. Now, it didn't work out so well the last time, but... you know. Without a try, you cannot win. I cannot shoot this one because I can't get the... right. Can I... It's not fair to place a... How about this one? No. I can see there is something up there. Is that a ruby? Now, I don't think there actually is a way to get this, unless you are on PC and use console commands and such, which, well, I don't. I mean, they do leave a cool trail, but... Another increase in archery, yes? Ooh, well, how fitting. That was not more damage. I don't really... what is that one? That is 50. Stagger. That is more arrows. Move faster. Draw faster. And what's the last one? Paralyze. Ooh. Might be useful, but let's just take the base damage for now. Could use some more of these. Something about fire, I think. No. Imperial sword. Now the Imperial sword is actually what the Imperial Legion uses in close combat single-handed, and it is leveled. It is basically just a retextured steel sword, which makes it better than the Stormcloak one, as we talked about, because the Stormcloaks mostly use iron equipment, which is somewhat less in both in damage rating than... where are you, you smelly prick? Come on. Oh, I thought that was the trail of one, but it isn't. I say as I get mauled by undead. Try to hide, eh? I wouldn't do that. Oh. Doesn't seem like a comfortable sleeping place. Da-dum, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da-da. A little bit of gold. Nothing special. Eh. Thought I saw a corpse there, but obviously I didn't, because there wasn't anything there. Unlike that one. You missed. Come on. Right. Stop playing the music as if I'm under attack. I have dealt with the guy who was attacking me. So let's go around and see if there are any more stinky pricks. Stinky prick, coming to you this summer. Anyone hiding under the stairs? Harry Potter. Yeah. Now, as most of you have probably heard by now, there is a new Harry Potter book coming this summer, actually, based in part on a theatrical play where Harry Potter has grown up and is now a father to 3, and the story is switching from him and to one of his sons. Now, I'm personally not a huge fan of the Harry Potter universe. I don't mind it, but I'm not a big fan. I read the first book and thought it was really great, and alright, that's enough of that. It's a bit noisy in here. That's alright. So I've read all the books so far, and well, let's just say the first one was the best, in my opinion. Same goes with the movies. I think it gotten a bit over the top, considering it was trying to monetize the franchise with the latest films, rather than being honest and trying to stay true to the lore. And well, I think that ruins pretty much any story, unfortunately. So that was really a bit of a disappointment for me, watching those other movies. I don't as such mind the universe. I think the universe in itself is really well written, and an interesting setting in itself. The way that, with magicians basically living side by side with normal people, but with basically a separate world within the normal world, if you can say as much. So yeah, but I mean, I'm probably going to read the eighth book as well, just because, well, I've read all the others, so I might as well. I think the concept of what I've heard looks pretty interesting, and yeah, I'd be glad to see what could come from it. So I probably have. Well, I haven't got high expectations for it, because, well, the books were going on a downhill slope in quality. I think the first one was by far the strongest one, and the one that was written the best one. It had the shock value, the surprising elements of this world with magic fitted into a normal, boring world, if you could say so. And well, to me, especially the creation of the setting was what made Harry Potter great. But furthering, trying to now, J.K. Rowling haven't done anything wrong here. Don't get me wrong on that. The books are all, in general, are well written, but I would say the first one is the best, in my opinion. But I think the movies, especially after the fourth movie, began to focus more on monetizing a popular franchise, rather than trying to stay true to the story and to the lore. And well, I think that is the downfall of pretty much any. What is that? That is 12, and that is 15. So that's better. And I think that pretty much proves that that any franchise that is monetized is probably not doing strong. Same with Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft have said, okay, we're not going to put out an Assassin's Creed main title during 2016, and well, Ubisoft have a lot of basically the same game with better graphics and slightly different ideas going. There are a lot of things in Ubisoft. Now don't get me wrong, the games work and they are fun to play, but it gets kind of repetitive when you look at it in the grand scheme. Black Flag was the ingenious for bringing the ships in to it, but didn't have as much parkouring, which probably was a fresh breeze of air into a rather stale series. Now there's also a great deal of writing where Ubisoft in general have shown to, even though they have a huge team of writers, have shown that, well, many cooks doesn't always make the best meal. In fact, with the recent Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, they had a team of 15 writers. Yes, you heard that correct. 15 writers for a franchise that everyone knows pretty well. But it was supposed to be how Lara was before she became the Lara Croft that was in the old games. So I think it's called a prequel or something like that. And well, there are several flaws in it. She acts so her main I've seen some Let's Plays. I haven't played it myself. The main driving force for her is that her father left some unfinished business behind, probably indicated due to, without spoiling it, that he was being pursued by a secret organization. Now, the problems with the writing in Rise of the Tomb Raider are many. It's supposed to take place in Russia, more exactly Siberia, where the locals fought against the Soviets and such way back. And there's just suddenly the ancient old magical creatures. Now I'm fine with there being magical creatures. That is not a problem, as long as it's well written, and that they have actually gotten that part down pretty well. But the problem is that they say that the warriors have these ancient old forgotten ones that are basically undead spirits of long dead fighters, are of Byzantine origin. Now I happen to be a little interested in history, also because my mother is an archaeologist, an actual archaeologist, with focus on the late medieval times. And from what I could see in the designs of the warriors and the buildings and, well, pretty much anything regarding the ancient ones, or the chosen ones, I think they were called, that was not Byzantine, but that was Greek. Now that is a whole different set of culture and a different set of design, and while they were existing at the same time, well, largely because the Greek history is very, very, very long, considering their success rate in terms of warfare and later on democracy. Well, it is actually a bit of I wouldn't say an outrage, because, well, unless you really interest yourself in history, that is not something that you're like. If people tell you these swivels on the wall, they are from Byzance, you'd be like, oh, all right, sure, and you'd be okay with that for skipping that small detail in terms of gameplay. However, when the main magical like, oh, this is something weird, what is going on here, thing happens, then it's something that will draw your attention. And when they use the wrong kind of design for such a large thing, that's not really a thumbs up on Bethesda's on Ubisoft's writing team or the design team, but it's probably mostly their writing team. Is so yeah, that's one thing. There are also certain things with oh yeah, this is an old plutonium mine, but it's fine. They don't. If I am to say it shortly, Ubisoft are horrible at explaining how things in their universes work. They are excellent at creating the overall story and the overall universes, but making the lore that binds it all together, that gives reason behind why is this as it is, or why does these people do so. Well, they don't really do that. They just skip about, say, it was probably something along the lines of this, and then say, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll go with it. Even though it's either blatantly false or just really lazy writing. And I'm kind of, if anything, I'm kind of appalled by that, because a company as big as Ubisoft, oh dear, should be able to hire good enough writers for that to not happen. There also was a part in the the recent Assassin's Creed DLC with Jack the Ripper about a wedding ring being lost, and then being picked up by one of the protagonists sometime later. Now, there is no problem with the idea in that. The problem is the setup. Now, this ring was lodged in a tree, in the bark of a tree, in an alley, or a backyard, I should say, of Whitechapel at the time of Jack the Ripper. Now, here's a major problem with that. Not only is it lost there, which is one of the places that was notoriously poor, even for that time's London, where most people probably didn't have a whole lot to go around with. But Whitechapel especially, this was where prostitutes were, this was where thieves, beggars, thugs, pretty much the scum of the earth would be in Whiterun, would be in Whitechapel in London. Now, a wedding ring even a plain one without gemstones, and this one was pretty plain, that would still be worth quite a decent amount of money. And oh dear. Oh, it's just one time, right. So even though it's covered in blood and lodged in a tree, there's no, they don't take into account how Whitechapel at that point were. The poverty is extreme. These are people that go into prostitution, not because they want to, but because it's the only way they can make any money at all. Now that, if that is not desperation, I don't know what is. And Ubisoft doesn't consider this. They don't take it into consideration. And it just really bothers me. Because would a desperate person who sees a valuable item, like a wedding ring, even though it's lodged in a tree and covered in blood, blood can always be washed off, and the tree part, well, if you have a knife, you can probably dislodge it. And it's just, they don't take these things into account. And it's so typical Ubisoft. I love all the games they create because the gameplay is good and the games are fun. It's not that. But they are so horrible with writing. It's almost like Blizzard's and ending a game, but at least Ubisoft's got that part covered pretty well. The endings to Ubisoft games have been somewhat pretty solid. But it's the small details that binds them together. The lore, how things work, how things work, correlates with each other, how basic it, and it's incredible. You'd think a company that big would know, or would have a solution, but they don't. And it's almost insane how bad it is. Another example is, well, a game that I really love called Child of Light, where you actually were supposed to at the end battle fight and watch your mother die, but and that was Ubisoft Montreal, which is considerably better than the main quest, but that part was written out for some reason, and I'm just why? It really bothers me. They have no logical explanation for this. They have no explanation at all, for that matter. But it's just, how can you not do this? It's so simple. It's not. I mean, there are just so many things where you go like, really, do you look take an honest step back and look at it. Would you really think that happened? I'm okay with bullshit parkour and such because, well, that's pretty much that's Assassin's Creed, and that's the thing. That's Assassin's Creed's thing. It's all right. No one complains about that. Well, maybe in the start, but it's not about that. It's about how much you can do with bad writing. I mean, it isn't as much bad writing as it's lazy writing. It's just so horribly bad. Like they said, well, we can't do anything more with that. Screw it, and let's go home. And again, with Far Cry Primal being out, now you may think, oh, this is revolutionary. No one have done this before. Well, true, sort of. While no one have done a Stone Age kind of thing like that before, you'd think that, this is a current for Far Cry 4 too. they found a thing with Far Cry 3 that was widely popular and worked really well. So, and of course, well, you draw from your experience, seeing what works and what does not. But from that part and taking them all and copying them, only with a different look and a different approach. Again, that's lazy writing. You're not really doing anything. You're just recreating what you already made. That's not creating something new and exciting. And again, that bothers me about Ubisoft. Their overall writing is, at best, it's just lazy, which can be excused, but because all writers can have a bad day. I mean, sometimes I look back at some of the works I've made, and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking when I wrote this? It makes no sense, or, well, it probably makes some sense, but it's more like, this is a flawed universe. It's not perfect. And that's, again, that's probably what I love about Warhammer and Tamriel and other Dungeons and Dragons and such. It's just, there are so much lore. You think, well, this is a flower, it doesn't matter. It does, because the lore says so. And that's the amazing thing. Because people have been looking at the lore pieces they've created before, and then they go back and say, does this correlate with something of the other pieces that we've already written? If no, then we need to write it over, because we cannot have lore pieces that does not fit into the universe. Where to Ubisoft just goes, this is lore, be happy, you get lore. And it's like, no, Ubisoft, that's not the right way. And it's really, it's aggravating, because after so many years and so many games and so many franchises under Ubisoft's name, and there are really a lot, you'd think they'd learn. You'd think they'd know. I mean, Ubisoft isn't EA, and if there is anyone who knows about copy paste games with microtransactions and horrible loading times and online functions, well, that's EA. But this is about Ubisoft. It's not about EA. So, I mean, I've already been a little in over what the problem with EA is, but I don't think there is any point in going further in detail against EA, because, well, this is not about EA. This is about Ubisoft and what they're doing wrong. And dear God, are they doing it wrong? There's so much stuff that it could have been so great. It could have been so great, but again, they balls it up by not taking these small pieces of lore into account. They don't look at great titles like Dishonored or, well, Skyrim, for example. They don't see, okay, this man did something with a flower here, so that means that this flower can do something here. They just take, oh, this is a flower. So, oh, here's the flower again. Would you like to look at the flower again? It has no importance, but would you like to look at it? See what we can do with the graphics? No, I wouldn't. If you can't do anything with that flower, why would you show it to me? It makes no sense, and I think Ubisoft want to focus more on gameplay, which is fair enough. I mean, not all games need a compelling and thick and winding story. Some games are actually better with as little story as possible, like Sunset Overdrive. A cliche game that was a rip-off of, what was it, Infamous, with next-gen graphics and Splatoon-like colors. It's just ridiculous. Alright, this is actually a pretty tough fight, so... that one. So yeah, I could go on about ranting against Ubisoft. I don't think it would make much of a difference because I've pretty much stated my point at this time. But there are just so much there where you're like, you gotta be kidding me. Is this what you're giving me? Really this? But and it is. You think to yourself, this cannot be true.
It is done. The Defiler is defeated. Take Dawnbreaker from its pedestal.
Yeah. Chain lightning. I did no. No. Right, so it's clear now. So we do that. Now it's time to find some gold. We're at 10,000. Sometimes it's pretty hard to keep track of what corpses you have looted and what you haven't, because there are a lot of them in here, which is pretty grand because they have a lot of gold on them. So that's not a bad thing. Nope, that's empty. That is... Whoop. Fear poison. Nah. I don't really use poisons. Nope, that's empty. So... yeah, I think you can do a lot with... I mean, look at games like Undertale. This is a small indie development team. And, well, in my personal opinion, Undertale is written so much better than several of Ubisoft's latest titles. Also because Ubisoft, well, Undertale isn't as much monetized because, well, it's the first in a series. That's logical, but the main thing is that they've created this universe. And even though you think, oh, well, that's pretty cutesy and such, well, there's so much more that is also dark in Undertale. And I believe this diversity of light and dark is what makes Undertale an excellent game. Maybe not in gameplay if you don't like bullet hell, and personally I don't, because I don't really have the I don't have the skill or the patience for such. But let's see what we have. Yeah, so we had almost 3,000 in gold. Alright, let's take Dawnbreaker and let's get out of here. It's a noisy dungeon. But it's one of my favorite weapons in Skyrim. So yeah, I'm sorry if I've been very ranting in this, but I just feel that bad writing or lazy writing, in the case of Ubisoft, can ruin a game worse than a glitch or a halfway broken gameplay.
Vanquished. Skyrim's dead shall remain at rest. This is as it
Well, at
should
least
be.
here.
This is because of you.
Yes, I am awesome.
A new day is dawning, and you shall be its herald.
It actually is. It's
Take the mighty
4:42 a.m. here.
And with it purge corruption from the dark
Right.
corners of the world. Wield it in my name, that my influence may grow.
Whatever.
It matters not. The plant cares nothing for the rays that bring it the warmth of the sun. As you carry Dawnbreaker, so will my light touch the world.
And we fall again. The beacon is back, and the noise finally stopped. And so will this episode. You can see. See, this is what I had expected from the mountain in Whiterun Hold, but for some reason, nope, it wasn't there. For the next episode, we'll dibble-dabble into Solitude and plunge ourselves into the Bard's Cottage, which is a quest that many think ill of, but it's not so bad. I personally like it. I would, as many have stated before me, like that the Bard's College part was longer, but it isn't, and there's nothing we can do about that. So that's it for this episode. I will record another one right away, and until then, see ya.